Hey everyone, just wanted to give you all a quick update as to what's been happening in my life, and apologize for not posting for so long. I know there's been a lot of you guys, like new subscribers and people commenting on my videos and stuff, and I try to get back to all of you, but I've had a bunch going on. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a bit of background as to what's been happening in the last, I'd say about 6 months. Just in terms of my life and things, and this isn't like scripted or like, this is a bit off the cuff, so if there's a lot of ums and ahs and doesn't really make sense, that's probably why. So I'd say about 5 or 6 months ago now, woke up one morning and just started having vertigo, but it wasn't the kind of vertigo where, you know, you move your head and the room spins or you feel like you're spinning. It's more, it was a little bit more subtle, but it was a constant feeling of, oh, it's raining, so sorry if you guys can hear the rain. It was a constant feeling of unsteadiness, lack of balance, a little bit, maybe a little lightheadedness, but my legs kind of felt quite weak. Like I just felt like I was never steady. I was, you know, leaning or moving a little. And I was working at this point as well. So that went on for about two and a half weeks straight. Obviously working, you know, transporting patients and looking after people and things. It's not the greatest when you're, you know, focusing on a lot of things, moving around, moving people. Obviously being off balance and stuff isn't amazing. Like I'd be standing there and I felt like I was going to constantly fall over. I didn't feel like I was going to faint, but I felt like I'd, you know, lose my balance or fall or you know, just sway or. So after about 2 weeks, I got a bit frustrated, so I went to the ED, just because the GP said, you know, okay, it's been going on for a while, go to the ED. Went there, they did an ECG, which was normal. Blood tests, I'm assuming just the standard, you know, hemoglobin, iron, full blood count, etc. were normal. They said, okay, look, go follow back up with your GP. We'll give you, you know, here's a printout of stuff that we've done. So I went back to the GP the next day. He prescribed I didn't prescribe it, it was over the counter. It's a nasal spray with a steroid in it, which is meant to be like a decongestant, just in case it was like vestibular or like sinus related. So I used that for about 2 weeks and it helped a little bit, but because of the stimulant and stuff in the decongestant, my heart rate was through the roof. I was getting panic attacks. I was anxious and shaky all the time. And I'm not an anxious person, so I had no clue why I got this. So I went back to him and said, look, this is crap. And he said, okay, stop that, fine. Anyway, went along, still have the dizziness and unsteadiness, and went back to work for a couple of weeks, and then it just got worse, so I took time off work. I think I took around, I'd say a month off at this point, and my work has been amazing about it. You know, they're so understanding, and I think because I work in the ED, they're quite, you know, prepared for stuff to happen and stuff to go wrong, you know, like they just say, look, take as much time as you need, you know. They're so lovely about it, which is really, really refreshing. So at this point, I was gonna go pick up my car from my mechanic. He had a loan car, so he's loaned me the car. I've driven the car back to him. Instantly get out, I step out the car and the room just starts spinning. Now this is what I'd say is closest I've had to like real vertigo. It was just spinning every which way. I was really out of it, spaced out. So I said, okay, I got to sit down, whatever. Sat down, ended up paying for the repairs and everything, service and stuff. And then his son just said, oh, you know, it could be a blood sugar. Like, I'm not diabetic, but, you know, if I hadn't eaten or whatever. He said, oh, do you want like a can of soft drink, like a soda? I said, yeah, sure, whatever. He brought that over. And it was a can of Coke. Now, I'm very sensitive to caffeine. So for the last like 4 months post this event, I've been caffeine free 100%, and alcohol free. But I smashed this whole can of Coke, and the sugar part felt good. I was like, okay, yeah, full it. And then the caffeine just destroyed me. So empty stomach, whole thing of caffeine. For most people, won't really do much. You might get a bit of buzz, bit of energy, whatever. For me, my heart rate went through the roof. My hands, my feet, my face were flushed. They were tingling, pins and needles. My hands were like tensing up and untensing, and I was lying on the ground. I had no energy whatsoever to get up. I couldn't really move. I could barely talk. So they called an ambulance. I said, okay, fine, whatever. Same thing, went to the ED again. Blood tests were fine, ECG was fine. Oh, you know, you're probably just dehydrated and had some caffeine, take it easy. And then the vertigo came back off and on for maybe, well, it's still here. So that would have been about, 4 months off and on now. And I had a head MRI, which was fine. A brain and in-ear MRI, which was okay. All clear, which is relieving. The GP thought about my anxiety, so I got put back on Lexapro, which I was on maybe 8 years ago. I was on that for ages, did nothing, made the dizziness worse. And I wasn't anxious, so he said, okay, fine, come off that. And then the most recent development, which is the really fun one, is probably about 2 months ago now. Now, I've been off work this whole time, like a bit of work from home and stuff, whatever, but not back to like my clinical duties. About 2 months ago, I was just, and bear in mind, this whole time I've been like, I can't really exercise, so I've just been, at home. Like I've gone from being a super active, walking 15, 20 Ks a day at work, 5-6 days a week, 25-year-old to, doing nothing. It's pretty brutal. It takes its toll mentally as well. But anyway, back to the thing. So no exercise, whatever. The really, really good bit happened probably, about 2 months ago. I was, we had some friends over for dinner. And I was just standing there, talking to them. And my heart, I had some like ectopic beats. So my heart would beat normally, so like, beating away. And then it would stop, and then a thud. And then a couple normal beats, stop, and then a thud. And I was like, oh, Jesus. Like, the first time I've had that kind of ectopic beats. Like I've had double beats before and stuff. This was a bit weird. But since that, for 6 or 7 days after that, I didn't want to bug any more doctors or whatever. I didn't want another trip to the ED, not worth it. But my heart would not go under 100 beats a minute, even when I was asleep, which is the interesting thing. Normally when you go to sleep, your heart rate drops, your blood pressure drops, you relax, blah, blah, blah. For me, it was, 95 to 100 all day. And then it seemed like my heart was very excitable. So any, walking around the house, 130, brushing my teeth, 130, 130, 140, flight of stairs, 150. And this whole time, obviously, the lightheadedness, dizziness is getting worse because my heart's working so hard. And I'm absolutely fatigued through the floor. Like, even now, my fatigue level is immense. I can have an amazing night's sleep, but if I'm sitting here now and my heart rate's 120, obviously my body's going to feel like I'm doing something to make my heart rate 120. So I'm knackered all the time. Anyway, went to the ED after, I think, 6 days of that because I was like, okay, it's been long enough now. I thought it would just sort itself out. It hasn't. They kept me in for a while, did a bunch of ECGs, troponin was negative, D-dimer negative, did a bunch of tests. The cardiologist there said it was something called inappropriate sinus tachycardia. So basically, all appropriate reasons of a fast heart rate, like anemia, hyperthyroidism, anxiety, low blood pressure, dehydration, were all ruled out. So they basically can't tell me why it's happening, but it is. So I got referred to a cardiologist, and I did 8-day Holter monitor. I think my average resting heart rate was 105. It got up to 160 something. And bear in mind, this is no exercise. I'm just walking around the house or, going shopping. Like I'm not doing a marathon or weightlifting or whatever. You get really out of breath and tired with it as well. So doing those things hasn't really been an option for me, which is frustrating because I'm normally a very active person. So I did that. I did a echo, so like an ultrasound of your heart, which was normal. Very nice. Happy to hear that. And I did a stress test. They hook you up to an ECG. and they do your blood pressure periodically through the test. And obviously, before you start, they get a baseline. Before I even got on the bike, it was 125 beats a minute, and I was knackered. I stayed on the bike for 6 minutes. It got up to 183, and my blood pressure was 200/95. He was like, okay, you can stop. So I stopped, you know. He watched me for a few minutes, came a bit down, fine, you can go. Walking to my car, I got this dropping feeling every couple of steps. Like I wasn't passed out, I don't know why. I got home, I was knackered. So obviously I've been off work this whole time, and that's what I've been dealing with. So it's nice to have some sort of reason as to why I've been feeling horrible. And it's been a bit debilitating and disabling as well. Like, it's frustrating, the changes for me as well. You know, being 25, I'm a young guy, supposedly, you know, fit, healthy. I'm used to like going out with my friends and, you know, riding bikes, full driving, seeing friends. Like, it's hard now to even take my partner on a date, you know, because I feel like shit all the time. However, like, work's been great. Like, they've let me come back, you know, a day or two a week to do some like non-clinical stuff, just like desk work and stuff. But I'm thankful to be able to like have that opportunity, like such an accepting, nice workplace. And also I feel like I can be productive. Like, I've been doing some uni work and stuff and whatever, but I've been bored out of my mind just sitting around all day, like trying to get some sort of diagnosis. And I'm about to start on a medication called Avabradine. In Australia here it's called Corilan, but I think in the US it's called Colanor. Because I missed a bit of the story. So from the ED stay, they put me on a Tenolol. I think I was on 50 milligrams a day, and I felt rubbish on that. I felt faint all the time, no energy, dropped my blood pressure a lot, didn't really help my heart rate at all. So Corilan, or Avabradine, it works on the channels that, the electrical channels that control your sinus node in your heart. So with having IST, the rough consensus is that your sinoatrial node is a bit dodgy, and it's very excitable. So for some reason, you can start having this if you get sick or surgery, or no one knows really why it happens. But there are patients after they've had a virus, their heart just kicks up a fuss, and that's how it is. So I don't know whether, you know, I had some sort of virus from the vertigo and now I've got this, or I'm not too sure. I still get the vertigo off and on, and obviously one of the main symptoms of the IST is a super fast heart rate. Like, I was walking just from work today, maybe 200 meters, walking from work to my car, and my heart rate's 160, and I feel like I was going to pass out. Like, that's not normal. So Avabradine is meant to inhibit some of the impulses from your sinoatrial node, therefore it lowers your heart rate, and it should increase your exercise tolerance, lower your heart's excitability, and doesn't touch your blood pressure. So that is where I'm at, guys. I'm sorry for the long rambling video, but if anyone else has a similar problem, or if they just want to reach out and stuff, I am more than happy to talk to you guys. So see you guys in the next one.